Alright, welcome back, Mech Warriors. I think today we are going to be having our second episode about the Grasshopper. I was thinking about it while I was taking my break, and I think we will use the Grasshopper despite it not being an assault mech, and that's because the Grasshopper is basically a gigantic Firestarter. It has 6 close combat weapons, or support weapon hardpoints, and 7 energy hardpoints. However, we don't really fight too many light mechs, which is why I was debating whether I wanted to use it or not. But what we do is, we do fight light mechs in the story mode, just because I believe the enemies are predetermined, and they're just designed to have the balance of the light mechs in mind. I think I like this one the best. So, the Grasshopper gets its name from, it's a mech that jumps a lot, and its head kind of looks like the mandibles of a bug. In some depictions, it can have much more bug-like eyes where the cockpit would be, but otherwise, it doesn't actually look too much like a grasshopper. That's just where it gets its name from. But because we're not really going to be fighting too many light mechs, I'm going to not necessarily design it for that purpose. Here's what we're going to do. Step 1, we will build it into its classic appearance, or its classic build. It has an LRM-5 in its head. Definitely not going to do that, but we'll put it here just so you can see what the old build looks like. Center torso has a large laser. Also, I like to leave the center torso clear for a gyro, even though we don't have a whole lot. Right arm is a heatsink and a medium laser. Medium laser and a heatsink. Now this mech is known as a zombie mech, which means it's a very defensive mech, and the build is designed to not carry too many weapons in the arms, which are common to be lost in battle. Right torso, 1 medium laser, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an ammo, and 1 LRM ammo. So we got a medium laser. I think I said 5 heat sinks. Oop, no, heat sinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think we got the 1 ton of the LRM ammo, which is supplying that. Which is good. You know, you wouldn't want the center torso to have the ammo. I believe that you could suffer a pilot injury. Typically, a zombie mech tries to make as few things that jeopardize the mech. Like, even the missiles. A lot of zombie mechs won't even carry weapons with ammo just to completely remove the possibility of having a ammo explosion. And zombie mechs often try to include 1, 2. Looks like we got 5 there as well. They try to not have the weapons in the arms too much because, as I said, the arms are often the part of the mech that goes first. And by keeping the arms free of the weapons and putting the best weapons in the center torso, it means that the mech can continue fighting, because if the center torso goes, then, well, the whole mech is gone. That's basically the logic of what the zombie mech attempts to do. And so here is what the normal build of the, Grasshopper does. So it's got 4 medium lasers, an LRM-5, and a large laser. That is not enough damage for a 70-ton mech. What are we gonna... Our alpha is 165. That's just not too impressive. So what we're gonna do is... I'm gonna take off the LRM-5, and we're gonna use these support weapons. Notice that the stock build does not use any of the support options, and I think that's a mistake. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use machine guns for everything. All machine guns. Now, if I was designing this to kill light mechs, I might use small lasers, but in this case, it's not my goal to kill light mechs necessarily. I want it to be able to engage any enemy, and we're going to put ammo in, probably 2 tons, because it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're shooting 30 per turn. Yeah, probably 2 tons of ammo, 1 in each. Now we're a little overweight there, that's fine. We'll pull off 2 heat sinks. Now what I want to do is move this off and move a medium laser here. I want more medium lasers. Let's just get all the medium lasers in. All the medium lasers. And I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I think that's going to be probably too many. I think I know what I'm going to do. Let me get these off of here. I want another large laser in this arm. That's fine. Pull off a heat sink. And then I want 2 medium lasers. And I'm going to pull 2 heat sinks off. I'm going to move one of the jump jets there. I'm going to move... I think that's fine, actually. Let me organize it a little bit because it's going to drive me nuts. Okay. I think I'm satisfied with this design right here. So this is going to be kind of my later game version of the... Well, what mech is this? The Grasshopper. Now the logic is this mech needs to jump pretty much every turn because the enemies are becoming much more powerful, and this thing does have a decent amount of armor, 1,040. But it does rely a bit on evasion at this point of the game. 1,000 armor is not enough to withstand. I mean, it's a decent. It's enough. But what this mech likes to do is shake attacks off of it. Now, the reason we got the 2 large lasers is because we want to be able to participate at a longer range if possible. And the reason we're using the machine guns is because they generate no heat at all. And that means we can jump like every turn and shoot our machine guns at people and generate only the heat from the heavy-duty jump jets. The medium lasers are just here that in the event I need to tack a little more damage on, an extra 25 to 50 damage, that's what they're for, especially if we can jump behind a target. So let's go ahead and confirm that. And then we'll take it into battle so you can see how this kind of unusual mech, not the typical playstyle that you've seen on a lot of these, but I'm going to take it into a pretty high-level battle, and I think it will perform just fine. Now, this mech could be improved further with arm upgrades for better melee combat, a gyro that gives it hit defense just to shake more hits, more attacks off of it. I want to do... What battle should we do? Let's do this one. Let's do this one. This one looks like a big, tough battle. It's 4 skulls and just a straight-up battle. So let's go 3 for salvage in the event we find some interesting battle mechs. Duking it out with the Taurian Concordat. Too bad for them. Hopefully it's not too bad for us. Let's pull all these mechs out. And this will be a good test of the Grasshopper's heat ability, considering that we're in a desert, so we won't be able to sink heat quite as effectively. And what are we going to bring into this battle? We're going to bring the Stalker. We're going to bring probably the Zeus. Well, the Zeus actually does run a little hot. I want a mech that doesn't run quite as hot. So that's probably going to mean the Jaeger Mech S. We could also bring the Awesome, just because the Awesome just plows through the desert with its incredible amount of heat sinks. Yeah, we could do that. That's fine. Plus, you know, this is a fairly difficult battle. A little bit of armor isn't going to hurt. So let's let someone else... Let's let Lore have a battle. He can go into Stalker. Let's have one of my high accurate... Oh, the Mach 10 hasn't had a chance. I was going to let the lovely Congrexus Prime Mad Cat jump in there, but, you know, Mach 10 hasn't had a chance in there. And I'm going to bring out... Drake was in the last battle, so Lobo's going in the Grasshopper. His job is going to be to... The high piloting skill will help the Grasshopper, one, go faster, but also just naturally dodge more attacks, which is very important. Alright, so in we go. So once again, this is going to be either a 4 versus 4, and if that's the case, it's going to be 4 versus 4 against probably a mixture of a mixed heavy assault lance. So maybe 2 assault mechs, 2 heavy mechs, 3 heavy mechs, 1 assault mech could go either way. Or it will be a battle where it'll be 2 waves. It might be two teams of heavy mechs, or it could be a very varied mech. It could be a team of 2 heavy mechs, a medium mech, an assault mech, and then the same thing too. You know, it could be... We don't know what it's going to be is the main thing I'm saying. I'm hoping it'll be a 4-on-4. That would be nice. Sometimes this will give us a hint. And it sounds like we might be fighting vehicles, which if we are, that means there's definitely going to be reinforcements since vehicles are not going to cut it for the mission's threat level. Yeah, the target vehicles are in the area. So that means this is going to be a battle of reinforcements. Hopefully, the way it's going to work is that the vehicles are kind of crummy, and then a heavy-duty team will appear. Because, like, we're trying to actually get some salvage here. That's our goal. This area here looks like a good place to fight. And the Stalker can just go right over here and just fire the missiles over that obstruction.
Ready for orders.
I'll just continue gaining some extra speed by going over the awesome. I'm going to keep it somewhat near these. Same with the Grasshopper will go with me. So we've detected 2 of the vehicles. So the vehicles are... We have an 80-ton vehicle, which... Not sure what that's going to be. But we'll run to cover here to reveal it. Alright, so we found the 4 vehicles. This one is a Demolisher LBX. So this is a DLC vehicle.
Skipper.
It's normally the Demolisher carries a pair of AC-20s, which makes it extremely deadly, but this one has a pair of LBX-10 autocannons. That's a DLC weapon. The LBX autocannon is basically a shotgun.
Engage target.
The Demolisher also is quite heavily armored, as you can see. I cannot make it to cover. So instead, wonder if I can snipe this guy from downtown. Let's try it. I'll give him the full alpha volley because our percentages are a little low. Oh my gosh, he's still standing. Has so much armor. So as you can see that there was a shotgun spray, but fortunately the evasion protected us very nicely, really. Okay. We're through its right armor, which would be this side over here. In that case, I think what I'm going to do is just jump over here and maybe give it a launch of LRMs. Maybe that will finish it off. Nope, we didn't hit on the right side, so that mech survived a full round of combat. Very nice. As you can see, the Grasshopper is wasting their attacks. 2 hits that time, but the armor of the Grasshopper will hold.
I've got eyes on hostile reinforcements.
Okay, so here's the reinforcing enemy mechs.
Yup.
Receiving you.
Confirmed.
So, the Grasshopper's job, as I said, is just to kind of really be a humongous pain in the butt. That's basically what it does. And what I'm going to do is just hop over here. And I'm going to tank up because right now the Grasshopper is it, so to speak. And I'm just going to shoot the large lasers just to ration my heat.
I'm on it.
Okay, we're through its armor. The Shrek doesn't have the same kind of armor as the Demolisher. This is more of a long-range bombardment tank, so it just can't withstand nearly as much damage. I believe the Stalker will still be perfectly safe over here, so let's go ahead and try to finish off this Shrek PPC carrier. Wow. I thought we would actually get that vehicle. That was an AC-2. I'm going to try to snipe both of these guys. So we'll put one there, and we'll turn this one off. One on each.
Got it.
Okay, got him. Didn't quite, got through the armor though. It's progress. 2 of the 3 hit, but they only do 20 damage each due to our 60% defense. I am going to probably hop in, and I'm going to split fire. And the split fire I'm going to make is everything on A except for my LRMs, which are going to go to B, which will hopefully finish it off.
Engaging multiple targets.
Didn't quite finish off the Shrek, but it did get that one.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Now, another reason I put the large lasers on the Grasshopper is if it gets pretty banged up, it will have the option to kind of jump away and fight with the large lasers at long range. So once again, we're going to make a jump over here. We'll tank up. And once again, we're just going to continue rationing our heat. We're going to use the 2 large lasers.
Firing.
Okay, about to say, that should take it out.
Well, that's one less vehicle.
Ready to rock.
I will reserve.
Affirmative,
Let this guy
Commander.
come forward. Still don't know what that mech is.
Yup.
Standing by.
I don't think we have any way to attack it either.
Skipper.
So what we'll do is I'll have the awesome move forward to start getting into this area over here where we have our cover.
Affirmative.
Maybe that'll cause him to move. He did move forward a little bit. Still not enough.
Yup.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to scan it, which will also allow us to sink some heat.
Sensors locked on.
It's another Shrek. Can I get an angle on it anywhere? Doesn't look like it. I really don't want to shoot LRMs at it, but I do want to. We have to start softening it up. Mainly because the main thing is we don't have too many tons of ammo. I think we only have 1 ton of ammo for LRMs, and that's just not enough. So nobody shot at the Grasshoppers, so there's no reason to make a jump. We can just reserve. We'll reserve again.
Confirmed.
No movement once again. Interesting. I will jump to reveal it.
Engaging jump jets.
And I'm not going to shoot my LRMs at it. I will shoot my Gauss rifle, though.
Engaging target.
And that's enough to take it out.
Enemy unit destroyed.
What are your orders?
Okay, so now we need to find the enemy battle mechs. We're just going to spend some time scooting around to reform our ranks.
Receiving you.
Getting into cover. This will be a good place to fight from.
Standing by.
I guess we'll just sprint over here.
All right.
Oh.
Full speed.
We found them. What did they bring to oppose us? A Vulcan? That's a very lightweight mech.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Confirmed.
I mean, I have the option to get Lobo back into cover here, but his evasion's pretty high. I wish we could see what these 2 are. But we are swapping turns right now, which
Ready to
means
rock.
it's... Although if I reserve, they'll get 3 shots on the Grasshopper.
What are your
I think the
orders,
better idea... We'll just play it safe. We're going to jump right into here.
Got it.
And I'll shoot one large laser. Actually, no, I'm going to just tank up. Sink heat, tank up, 60% defense, didn't use any morale. That's a whiff.
Confirmed.
And now I will reserve and let them make their moves. Let them come forward, hopefully. Catapult K2. That mech is going to have a problem here. Missed our Grasshopper. How many shots do they waste on our Grasshopper? Another Catapult K2. You guys are supposed to be rare. What are you just coming out with the numbers? Ah, breaching shot.
Hurt me.
Still don't know what that is. Jump into cover. So the second Catapult K2 is the one I want to get because that one appeared to be... One of them has breaching shot. I don't know which is. Sharpshooter sounds like someone who would have breaching shot. Let's shoot at this guy.
Yup.
We need to get a little closer. We're losing some accuracy due to range. There we go. 70%, that's good enough. This should knock the catapult over. In hindsight, I should have used the awesome, because the awesome would have knocked it over, and then Lore could have made a targeted attack against it. And while this will still be a very accurate attack, we have a 50% chance to hit center torso, whereas Lore would have like an 80% chance.
Roger that.
Still did a lot of damage, though.
That hit something good.
Because of the heat, we'll have to use a volley shot technique, which means we're going to fire 3 PPCs and then 2, then 3, then 2, then 3, then 2. Just kind of alternate, which is known as volley shooting.
A real mech war.
Ready to rock.
Oh, looks like we will get to finish off the catapult anyways. So yeah, looks like we didn't even hit center torso. Anyways, to show you what I'm talking about, Lore has a 90% chance to hit the center torso, which means we can really just drill into the mech with these missiles. Wasn't quite enough to take it out, but there was an ammo explosion, and the ammo explosion finishes them off. Lore's like, I've got some great information to read to you. He's like, have you heard the good news? The good news is that 1 ton of explosive ordnance is about to explode right underneath your cockpit.
Commander.
So, it's time to start grasshopping. And the first person we're going to grasshop is this guy here.
Lifting off.
We will tank up. And we're only going to fire the machine guns. I don't mind gaining a little bit of heat, actually. That's fine. We're keeping the heat neutral. And I'm just going to spray him up. So the machine guns ignore his evasion.
Put one in his back.
And we still hit with the... We still hit the large laser.
Scored a critical hit.
And now they've got to do something about the Grasshopper. Which, of course, the PPC misses. He gets a little scratched up by the machine gun, but like I said, the Grasshopper has a lot of armor. Now, I don't need to tank up. Let's check the condition on the Vulcan. The Vulcan's rear armor is pretty messed up. And I want to go after the Jaeger mech just because it has really low armor. My long-range weapons to deal my damage. Same over here. Now we're going to use the volley shot, so we're going to fire 2. Although it doesn't look like we sink any heat, so it looks like we'll just be firing 2. And the Vulcan decides to come forward.
What do you need?
And we've got plenty of, as I said, we can just continue working on the Vulcan. We'll hop right over here. We'll tank up. And because the Vulcan has the very low evasion, I'm going to alpha strike him. which means we're just going to go full out on his rear armor. And he goes down to the second barrage.
That one's gone.
It looks like they're electing to ignore the Grasshopper.
Damage minimal.
Skipper.
Which is still a problem. I mean, you've got a 70-ton mech who's just running around your back line. Not exactly good for your health. They're probably not shooting at him because they all have long-range weapons and they're just getting really bad, they're getting really bad accuracy numbers against them. Look at their condition. And let's continue working on the Jaeger mech. I go right over here. Oh, I meant a long range, that's the problem. I was wondering why my aim looks so bad. But we're just out of the range of our medium lasers, so I should have got a little closer.
Commander.
Detected.
Yep, we just have to fire the 2 right now. Jaeger mech is taking quite a... It's zombieing us pretty nicely right now, I will say so. So we're going to jump and begin attacking the catapult. So since they're ignoring me, I'm going to begin using targeted attacks.
Take this.
It's like, don't ignore me.
Yup.
Let's try to finish this guy off. Burn one of the missiles off in order to save heat. There we go. Finally got through the armor.
I need a new target.
He's just coming forward. He's fearless. And I'm just gonna punch him just because he wants to come closer. Fine.
Physical attack.
That will scrub his some of his defense.
Enemy mech destroyed.
And ammo explosion, so they both went down in the same way.
Mission
That's a bummer.
successful.
It's like I'm doing these high-level missions trying to get assault mechs, and the game isn't generating very many 4.5, and it's not generating any 5-skull missions. But you know, we're trying to find ourselves some bigger mechs, you know, like a Banshee, Atlas, King Crab. Obviously, I definitely want a King Crab. Killboard is looking pretty good. Everyone did a little bit of the work. And let's see, we'll take the 2 pieces of the catapult, and we'll take well, let's see if there's any rare weapons. Ah, we want this. We want these PPCs. Especially this one here. I'll let the other ones go, because this is the main one I want. And I want more money. I'm gonna build and sell an extra catapult K2. So there you got to see the Grasshopper in action. A very, very interesting mech, depending on how early in the game you get it. If you get it early in the game and you're fighting a lot of light mechs, then you basically just use it kind of like the Firestarter, except slower. You just run up and slice people apart with the small lasers. But deeper into the game, where
That mech you wanted is back online.
there aren't as many evasive enemies, I tend to use the machine guns just because, like, I do feel more pressured into jumping on a regular basis. And because those machine guns don't generate any heat, they allow you to jump and fight pretty much every turn, and then you can control how much heat you are generating by clicking on or off the amount of lasers you use. And don't underestimate the machine guns. Yes, they do less damage than the small lasers, but they still do a decent amount of damage. Each one of them does 15 damage, so you know that's what, there's 6 of them, so that's what, 30, 60, that's still 90 damage. A full Alpha Strike is 220 damage. Not sustainable, we cannot fire all of them all at once too frequently. But still, like, that's 90 damage on its own, especially to, like, rear armor. And sometimes you can throw in the extra 2 large lasers just to, like, punch further through that rear armor. It does pretty well. And yeah, like I said, the small lasers, 6 of them would certainly do more, do like what, 120 damage. So this version, you lose 30 damage on your rear attacks, but no heat generation, which is really, really handy. And then, like I said, you have the option, if you don't find an opportunity to jump behind people and try to zap them, with the double large lasers, you can still fight at a distance. And still, you know, just jump around and exchange shots with people. This mech is quite a bit better in cold climates where the heat sinking will be even better and you're able to hop around and be even more of a pain. But overall, it's a very interesting mech. I like it quite a bit. We didn't give it a... That's fortunate that we didn't give it a cockpit mod. We definitely need to give it one of those.
Right.
Otherwise, we run the risk of just random injuries flying in. And there you can see all of these smaller guns are the machine guns. You can see it on his arms. Got our large lasers for the higher accuracy in the arms, and then our medium lasers. So overall, yeah, there you go. The Grasshopper. Very interesting battle mech. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Like this video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future BattleTech content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.